Buried Treasure is brought to you by EB Games.
Now, some may not consider this a buried treasure at all, but so what? This is Shenmue from the Dreamcast. Now, everybody knows about Shenmue 2 on the Xbox, big selling game, whole thing. Remember the movie that came with, the DVD movie that came with Shenmue 2? Well, you can actually go play through this whole game. Now, the great thing about Shenmue is it's a completely entire living, breathing city. I mean, you could literally walk up to anyone in this entire game. Every shelf and drawer you can open up and interact with. It's unbelievable. There was tons of fun stuff to do in here. You actually had to go and work and get a job. You get a job doing forklift stuff. And the big payoffs, though, at the end of the game, where you get to drive through the city in a motorcycle with this hot chick on the back. Hey, everyone likes doing that. The music's really good. You can learn a ton of different fighting moves, and there's great slow-mo action sequences as well. Sometimes you have to like chase people through the city, and they tell you which button to press, and you have to duck and slide and do all these other great moves. The storyline is extremely rich. The voiceovers, but what can you do? So Shenmue for the Dreamcast. Pick it up for sure.
Alright, we're back. We're going to talk now about Nintendo's offering at E3 on the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance. And you really can't talk about one system without mentioning the other anymore.
Of course not.
Everything is connected this year, it seems. Like every game they got.
Well, I'll tell you what I like about the Game Boy Advance is that they have a bunch of new colors. This is the coolest thing.
Such a punk.
There's all the different rainbows. They have like metallic orange, metallic red. They got a nice charcoal, a nice shade of puce, I might add.
Yes, they do.
There's a nice magenta, kind of like a tangerine, red, orange.
Wait a second here.
Orange,
wait,
red.
Wait, there's lots of That's not the most exciting thing you saw at the Nintendo booth. You're not telling me that. You're not saying you did that out of all the games they had on display, that the color Game Boys, which are very nice.
They got green. They got.
What about the games?
Oh, did you see the pink one?
I did see the pink one.
The pink one. And you know what else?
What about the games?
Oh, there was a new Mario game.
That's right, Mario and Luigi.
Mario 4, 3. It was like 3 and 4.
No, it's Super Mario Advance 4. Super Mario Brothers 3.
Wait, sorry. Say that title for me again.
It's Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3 is the name of the game. And it's the NES Super Mario Brothers 3 game brought to the Game Boy Advance, which people have been waiting for a long time. Another Game Boy Advance game I think is really cool is that Boktai from Konami.
What's that?
Well, this one you can actually have a light sensor in it. You hold it underneath the sunlight, and your gameplay changes whether or not you've got sun on your Game Boy. One of the most interesting things about the Game Boy Advance games is that a lot of games now are being developed that take advantage of both systems. So if you're a Nintendo player,
right,
the idea here is that you want to have both systems to get the full sort of playability out of these games.
Well, now let's switch over to GameCube.
All right, let's talk about the GameCube.
You first.
Okay. A lot of the stuff that we saw on the GameCube this year looked like either sequels or remakes of great games that we've seen before.
Well, I also think that this is the year that Nintendo has just first party completely abandoned anything of any kind of adult content. I mean, everything on the system now is completely cartoony. Now, some other companies, Namco has Soul Calibur 2, which looks awesome. But aside from that, everything that Nintendo first party had to offer.
Well, Geist looks like a little bit like Perfect Dark, but it's got some sort of creepy overtones. You actually pop out of bodies and possess them and take control of bodies and work your way through this first-person shooter that way.
How about Kirby's Air Ride?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. Hey, don't point that at me. Don't point that at me.
Kirby!
I'm looking forward to Kirby's Air Ride, you sick, twisted freak. I had a lot of fun playing Mario Kart Double Dash, playing Rebel Strike, the new Star Wars game, F-Zero GX, the new Star Fox, the new Mario Golf game looks really great. Final Fantasy is on both of the Nintendo systems for the first time in a long time with Crystal Chronicles. It's a little bit strange though because you have to control your characters with the Game Boy Advance controls, not the analog stick. But it still looks great, and it's good to see Final Fantasy back on Nintendo.
Okay, so here's the big question of the day.
Yes.
What do you give the Nintendo area, and that's including Game Boy and GameCube and everything else? What are you giving the booth?
I was a bit scared after the press conference. I didn't see the big stellar, massive title, But after playing these games and checking out the booth, I had a good time. 8 out of 10.
For me, for my taste, I'm giving the Nintendo area a 6 this year.
Well, that's it for Nintendo's offering for me 3. Stick around. We're going to be right back with a look at the PC and the brand new N-Gage right after this.